Good afternoon. Welcome back to GP Outdoors, and welcome back to part 2 of landplane versus box blade. As you may recall, if you watched the last episode, you'll know that we got the opportunity to do some grading on a private road or an unassumed road by the municipality, which means, of course, that the people that live on that road have to look after, maintain, grade, clear snow, do whatever. The municipality doesn't touch the road. So we decided to take the landplane first. Took about 200, 220 or 230 feet of that road, and we used the landplane. Took me about 3 hours to clear it and to grade it properly, get rid of the rain ruts and the potholes. Now we're going to grab the box blade and we're going to do another segment of that road. So you may recall on the first part, which I'll put a link above me, I had mentioned to you that the folks that live on that road and maintain it said that they have not graded that roadway in more than 10 years, and it sure showed. I ended up having to use the scarifiers on the landplane for a long period of that 3 hours it took me to do it to try to break the surface of that roadway. I ended up pulling up a lot of boulders, which is great, was able to fill them in, and eventually once I was able to get enough loose gravel and material on the surface of that road, I was able to plane it much easier with the landplane. Trying to fill in those deep, deep rain ruts, especially that big, long 50, 60-foot one that went around the bend on that road, as well as some of the deep potholes, took a long time with the landplane, because the landplane, as you know, does not have the ability to aggregate material, carry it, and dump it as easily as the box blade. So I have a feeling when we do this second segment, box blade may shine here, but we'll see. Let's head on back over. Let's get back at that road with the box blade this time. Cheers. Land plane or box blade? Let's take a look at the performance of both of these implements. So let's talk about performance. On the last video, as you know, we used the land plane. Today, we used the box blade. We took two sections about 220, 225 feet each on that unassumed road down the concession road. I actually thought it was going to be gravel. It turned out to be very little gravel and primarily hard, rock hard clay, because it's been so many years since somebody's dropped gravel or tried to grade that drive or that roadway. The land plane took 3 hours to get its section done. I spent most or at least half of that 3 hours with the scarifiers down trying to dig through that clay surface and get enough material that I was able to start using the blades so I could start planing it and getting it graded. So definitely, if you're ever buying a land plane, you've got to make sure you buy one that has scarifiers, for sure. Box blade, 1 hour to do the same length of that road. Let me explain why. As I'd mentioned before in a previous video, one of the differences between the land plane and the box blade is the box. The box has a concave blade on the back and one on the front, and it's got a box, so it can actually collect or gather material or aggregate as you're doing your grading. So when you've got big, deep rain ruts or gouges or big potholes in the driveway, you're able to collect that material in the box and drop it into those holes or those uneven or those low-lying areas to build them up a lot easier than with a land plane. On the other hand, the land plane does its job great. It's built for one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to gradually blade and shave the top of that driveway. And it does it in a great job, but it takes a lot longer to do it because you've got smaller blades. There is no box behind it, so you can't collect aggregate or material. It just slowly shaves every time you take it down the driveway. Really easy to use, but it's definitely built for one purpose only, and it does a great job of it. But when you're in adverse conditions such as we had today, and you don't have a driveway that's, full of gravel or 2 or 3 or 6 inches of gravel, it takes a little while to get through it. It does it, but it takes much longer. So many of you have asked me the question, which would I prefer, the box blade or the land plane? And I'd offer you this. If I had a driveway that was, gravel, 4, 5, 6 inches of gravel, it was properly built with a base and a foundation, and it was primarily gravel, for sure that land plane, ideal implement, it's built for that one purpose, and it does a great job of it. However, if I'm in an area such as I have here where I've got a path ripped through the forest and it's, part sand, part soil, big rocks, a little bit of gravel or clay, you probably would do much better with a box blade because the box blade is much more functional or versatile. It can be used so many different ways, and as you folks know, there are people that actually use it to clear snow in the wintertime, as well as to scarify the ice on my driveway, as you probably saw this past winter. So if I only could buy one implement, I'd have to say I would buy the box blade hands down. If I could have both, I'd probably keep both because they're both great implements. They just both are designed for specific purposes. So I'm going to wrap it up for the day. Sun's setting fast in the west, and it's been a long day. I hope that you folks found this 2-part series informative or helpful, and hopefully it's answered a bunch of the questions I've gotten online over the last month and a half about the land plane versus the box blade. Thanks so much for sticking around with me today. I really appreciate it. If you like the channel, please click subscribe, hit the like button, and if you want to know when I'm posting more videos, just click that little bell. Have a wonderful week with your families, and I'll see you again on the next one. Cheers.